We create music.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of We Create Music TV. Man, it's your boy B Vaughn, and today we got my man Eva J Music. Man, y'all give it up, man. That's what's up.
What's up? Appreciate
That's
it.
what's up, brother. How you been?
Been very well, man. Been very good, man. I appreciate you having me on the show once again and providing
Yeah, for
opportunities like
sure.
this. You know.
For sure, brother. Hey, we've been chopping it up a little bit on IG, but I'm glad we had a chance to kind of sit down, virtually,
Yeah,
and chop it up.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm interested in your story and some of the stuff that's in there. So, without further ado, my brother, people who watch the show, they know how we do. We just jump right in,
Right.
and we get
Yeah.
to having fun. So, man, so how'd you get
Cool.
started?
Well, it's kind of a long journey, but I'm gonna see what I can kind of pull out of it, man. It's basically I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I grew up, had both my parents in my family. Both my parents were ministers. Also, they were musicians, and so I was always around church, music, different things like that. On top of that, my dad, he was like in a band, like a funk band. He taught actual like marching band and stuff like that when he was younger. And so I have a lot of different influences when it comes to my musical development. I'm telling you, I wish he was still around to just I could just kind of let you hear some of the stuff he's
Mm-hmm.
done. But he's very, very good at music and everything like that. So that's how I first initially got my introduction is just through my family.
Okay.
And I was a young man. I'm growing up in a Christian home, and I was just more so drawn to hip hop. And so, my parents, they didn't want me to have anything to do with it at first or anything like that. So I kind of kept it to myself that I wanted, to do something in the secular music industry. But eventually, I mean, I became, older and I just decided to go ahead and go for it. And so I was trying to actually become like a rap artist at first. And I didn't know any producers or anything like that at the time. So I decided to kind of, just try my hand in making my own beats. My mom, she classically would classically train me and my sister in piano. And so I knew about
Oh, that's dope.
chords, progressions, and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to kind of put that together. Anyway, long story short, I learned how to make my beats. You know what I'm saying? I started working with different artists in my city, in Oklahoma City, basically where I was from. Ended up running into a group, and they actually knew or worked at the radio station there in
Ah,
Oklahoma,
dope.
and so they had a real good like connection in to a lot of the stuff that would be going on in Oklahoma, or even just getting music online on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I ended up working with them, got one of my songs on the radio and everything like that. But I kind of just wanted to, I don't know, I wanted something more. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to, work on my mixing. I wanted to, learn and take my career and stuff like that to the next level. So what I did is I ended up, I was actually working at Dell Computers at the time, like on the side. And so I ended up getting laid off. And so it
Mm.
ended up being like a perfect scenario because I was like, man, I didn't really want to work at the traditional route anyway.
Right,
And
right.
so I was just like, let me move out there to Florida, go to Full Sail. So people don't know what Full Sail is. It's like a music entertainment type of school where you can kind of go there, get immersed in the environment, and you get around a bunch of like-minded people and learn all about music and entertainment and how to mix, master, different things like that. So I went to Full Sail, and that's what I'm doing all day long is music and learning different things at Full Sail.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Probably about midway between me graduating Full Sail, I had did this big epiphany, you know what I'm saying, and I just decided to like really stop doing a lot of the crazy foolish stuff I was doing at the time and rededicating my life to Christ. So I was like real,
Hey,
yeah,
hey.
I
Yeah, we gotta
rededicated
get
my life to
claps for
Christ
that.
right there. No, for sure. And this is one of those things like I don't want to ever hide this part of my story because
Mm-hmm.
this is those times were really some of the sweetest times of my life. Like, be honest with you, like I had a pure love for God. I wasn't like so in religiousized, or if you want to, I wasn't hurt yet from the church or anything like that. Like I was pure. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to, obviously just serve God, but I wanted to also, make an impact through my music.
Yeah.
And so just not really having any kind of true understanding or path to take on it, I was just like, you know what, let me just start doing like gospel music. You know what I mean? Let me start doing be a gospel rapper, a gospel artist. So I stopped doing all stuff secular. I called all my people that I was working with. I was like, no, man, I'm sorry. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have done that, but that was kind of a silly, you know what I'm saying? But it was just out of the love of trying to, really
please the Lord.
Yeah, and so, I was making my mistakes and everything, but at the same time, I don't regret it because it really helped me to, mature and learn a lot of different things. But anyway, yeah, I ended up rededicating my life to Christ. I stopped doing everything I was doing, like, partying or whatever and different things like that. And I started doing Christian music. And so that's where Eva J music takes a different twist. I was just doing production at the time, and then this is where I really just took a leap and just stepped out as an artist. I released a couple of different CDs. I released my first LP. It was called The Time Is Now. I did it with an artist named Fuego, and he's like a Christian reggaeton artist. And so it kind of had, hip hop vibes mixed with some little bit of like a dance reggaeton type vibes, and then you throw in, positive, messages and plus the gospel to it. It was actually pretty dope. And I did that for like about 3 years, man. I would just pursue putting that out there. I would, go to 7-Elevens, post up, and I'm still in the old mindset, trying to slang stuff out the back of my truck type thing.
Like one of these CDs, like, hey, bro.
Yeah. How I would do it, I would just ask them for a donation. Like, hey, man, can you just give me like a donation, like anywhere between $3 to $10, whatever you feel is necessary. But it kind of worked out better like that. Try to sell it. Just like, hey, look, I'm trying to get my music out there. Can you just give me a donation or whatever? $5 or whatever, just to support what I'm doing. Check out my music. Got the CDs pressed up. So I had that whole experience trying to, do it throughout, what they call it, the guerrilla marketing way, of music. But where my story just
guerrilla marketing.
Yeah. But where the story starts to change is like, at some point I decided, I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and move to Atlanta. I was actually dating at the time. Yeah, Atlanta. Man, I almost think I want to go back there, bro. Like, Atlanta was lit.
Just don't. Wow, never mind.
Atlanta's
lit. Right. Just, yeah.
No, so what was I saying? Okay, yeah, I was about to go to Atlanta, and I was actually dating this girl at the time that did Christian rap. So we were two Christian rappers. We had this song, and we were going out and trying to perform it and trying to, get it out there. And so we went out to Atlanta to network, and that's how I actually ended up getting out to Atlanta. So I got out there. We started networking. I started doing like, community work and serving with different people. And I was still trying to do the gospel approach to everything at that point in time. Fast forward, I'm gonna kind of go ahead and skip a little stuff, but fast forward, I ended up just kind of having another epiphany, within the gospel or within the church. Like, I would just see a lot of different, I don't like to talk about the negative parts of church. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to paint stuff negative because I don't want people to be fearful of it or turned off. Yeah, but I went through some different situations where I would just see a little bit of hypocrisy and different things like that. And I was just like, you know what? The message really needs to be out there in the world. And, they need to get it in a way where it's real, because, I started realizing that although I was trying super hard to be so perfect and go to church and everything, I still started realizing like I'm still a human being. I'm still going to mess up. I'm still going to make my mistakes. So So anyway, I kind of just kind of stepped down from being more religious with my approach to life and everything like that. I still believe in God and everything, but I just wasn't as churchy with it, you know. And so that kind of just led me to go ahead and say, you know what, maybe we just go ahead and get back into just producing music for just anybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody. And I came across music licensing. And so what happened with that is my first actual introduction to music licensing was actually in Florida. When I was, you know, doing my Christian rap, I had somebody reach out to me, the UFC, I think what was that school called in Florida? UFC or UCF, one of them. UCF, UCF sports show. They reached out to me and they wanted to license my music on their show. So I had like a couple of my rap songs playing under the music, but I didn't really know anything about the music industry. Like I didn't know, okay, I need to get like a PRO so that I can collect back end royalties, or hey, I need to ask for like a upfront sync fee or something like that. Like I didn't think of any of those things when I first had that opportunity. It was still cool though, because it gave me a chance to get my music out there on a more professional level.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was how I first got started in doing music. I said on as far as like music licensing, I did some cool stuff in gospel, but like the music licensing has been real cool for me. Like I was networking with different producers and things like that on Twitter. Ran into a producer on there, and that's actually really how I started really getting placements and things of that nature. So just working with different producers, and then I started. Next thing you know, I'm getting different placements with different shows.
So save that. I want to talk about that specifically a little bit later on,
right.
as far as some of the ins and outs of sync licensing. So for people who watching, just kind of really, and for people who are going to watch a little bit later, kind of just some of the ins and outs and your own experience and things like that. So I want to save some of that for later.
Sure.
But I gotta go back.
Okay.
So
come on.
So Full Sail. So talk about Orlando. Was it Orlando? Is that where it is?
Yeah, I was in Orlando.
Orlando, right?
Or it's technically Winter Park, Florida. But whenever we tell people, we just say it's in Winter. It's Orlando.
It's Orlando. Yeah, I've been to Winter Park. Yeah, I got a guy who actually is going to be on the show. He's from, I think Gene's from Orlando, but he runs a thing down there called, let me make sure I get it right. I think, the Network Music Conference down in Orlando. But he's going to be on the show about a week or so. But man, so how was Full Sail? The reason why I asked, I've had a lot of people on the show who have gone to Full Sail, and I just want to talk about school versus hands-on experience.
No, for sure.
Yep.
Definitely. Okay, so Full Sail, man. I think that first of all, if I could probably redo it, I would just have tried the whole intern approach. I would have just maybe moved to LA and just got it, or maybe went straight to Atlanta and just got in one of the big boy studios and just did it like that. Just straight up engineer, intern as an engineer to approach. That's what I would have done if I could played it over again.
Why is that?
Well, because like actually after you get out of Full Sail, to be honest with you, more than likely you're going to still have to start at the internship level. You're not going to necessarily get out of Full Sail and be able to just jump right into the music industry. I got a job. Like you might be able to get us like certain jobs. Like I did some AV work, like as an audio visual technician. So I would mix like live sound and put together, different audio visual displays and stuff like that. So you could get a job like that. You could get certain jobs like maybe in TV, like I don't know. But as far as like trying to be a music producer,
right. No, I was gonna say it's sort of like when you go to regular college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You go to regular college, you take in business management, you'll come in as like an intern or as a entry level position at an organization in corporate America. Yeah.
It's definitely not one of those things where you should think that, okay, after I go to this school, that's going to guarantee me anything. It's not, it's all going to be on you anyway. So you just have to decide if it's if it's worth the money, if it's worth your time and efforts. I enjoyed my time at Full Sail. I thought it was good. Coming from someone who I was originally from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I personally didn't necessarily have a whole lot of. I don't want to come off the wrong way, because we do have, like, in Oklahoma did have studios and stuff like that, but it wasn't necessarily on a huger level as it is probably now. Like, they have like a pretty dope studio now out there in Oklahoma. But anyway, Full Sail could be good as far as like doing something to force yourself into a different mindset and things of that nature, if that makes sense. But you can learn anything anywhere.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. Now, that's why I was asking, because I know many people have gone to Full Sail, and no knock against Full Sail. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
But I've heard that people say, man, if I had to go do it over again, I wouldn't cough up the bread to go to Full Sail. Full Sail.
No,
like,
I don't knock
yeah.
Full Sail though, because like I said, like that was where I had my little conversion process and everything like that. If I never went to Full Sail, I would still be in that my same type of circle, doing the same stuff. Like that's why I look at Full Sail as a positive thing for me personally, because it changed my environment. You know what I mean? And at that time, I needed to change my environment to go a little higher. You know what I'm saying? It just in life and how I thought and different things like that. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we never know how the Lord's going to be reaching out to us and what position or situation we're going to find ourselves in. And so, I remember mine. I was homeless, but people who've seen the show, they kind of know that whole conversion story. Well, maybe they don't, right? Maybe I'll share that one day. But yeah, I mean, we never know when the Lord's going to say, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" he gonna come knocking. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's homeless, whether it's at Full Sail, whether it's in prison, wherever it is. But yeah, I wanted to go back and say that, like, yeah, man, don't ever hide that fact about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, your relationship with the Lord and, what he's doing for you in your life. Like, our first and primary objective is the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, forget everybody else and what they think. Like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather please the Lord than please man, because I mean, it's not Bible sermon. I'll get all into it.
No, it's all good, bro. Like, I just think it's perfectly fine. I think that people need to talk about God more, you know what I mean? And not from a standpoint of religiosity. Because, like, I think sometimes when people talk about God, the first thing that they think about is like a pastor trying to teach them and trying to, get into them or whatever. And or they can't do this, or they have to look a certain way and all that.
Yeah, they always think about there's limitations or restrictions or limits to their freedom and what they can and can't do. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I'm gonna tell you what helped me was a book called Music Through the Eyes of Faith. I don't know if you ever read that. Yeah. It's called Music Through the Eyes of Faith. And so my homie, one of my homies had the book, and he read it and he gave it to me, and I read it, and I was like, oh man. But I think a lot of us came to the realization, because there was a time in my life that I was like, man, I ain't making no secular music at all. I ain't listening to secular music. I ain't making secular music. Turn off MTV. I need urban alternate. I need cross movement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need all that. But so let me give you a little backstory in case any of them watching anyway. But so the people that I know that are my homies are like the staple people within Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Okay. When you think about from a producer, rapper perspective, I don't know if you ever heard of So Hot Productions.
So Hot?
Yeah, So Hot. So Hot. Okay, yeah. Yeah, So Hot did all the production for Cross Movement, for Lecrae, for Tadashi, Tripley. I mean, you name it. Them boys they were like the Justice League of the Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So two of my homies, JR and Nab, were the So Hot production team, and it was JR who had the book Music Through the Eyes of Faith. And I remember us talking about that. But I think a lot of us came to the realization that it doesn't matter how, in what arena we're serving the Lord in, long as we are not jeopardizing our standards, not as long as we're not jeopardizing our morals, as long as we are not participating in the same type of activities that.
So
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
no, these are conversations where people can have like a lot of different
Oh yeah,
opinions
for
about it.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could even line up certain scriptures on it and vice versa, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess at the end of the day, man, you have to look at it like this, man. Like you have a skill set, you have
Mm-hmm.
in a it's like, okay, for instance, I used to work at AT&T as a like
Okay.
worked over there part-time as a rep before, you know what I'm saying? Like a
Mm-hmm.
little like a sales rep.
Yep.
I would sell my phone service to sometimes drug dealers that would come in there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I would know that they're getting like a little track phone for drug dealers for sell their drugs,
Right.
or I would sell phones to or service to. You feel me? Anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing with I think with music. We got to stop like overly religious, putting boundary like
No, I get it. Putting boundaries on it.
putting
Yeah.
boundaries on yourself because of your faith or because of how you walk. You know, again, you're not going to be perfect anyway. When you
Mm-hmm.
start walking long enough, you're going to notice, like, man, I made some big mistakes.
Oh yeah, man,
And
for
then you
sure.
start realizing, like, man, why am I judging these people as if I'm so much better
Mm-hmm.
and I can't work with them? You know what I'm saying? I have a gift, I have this.
Right.
Ultimately, me rubbing shoulders with them is going to be a good thing, vice versa. I'm going to learn
Mm-hmm.
something, they're going to learn something. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's how
Man,
I look at things.
I always take the approach of Christ, bro. Like Jesus was always with the sick. You know what I'm saying? Like he was always with the sick, but he didn't compromise his mission. But he was always with the sick. You know what I'm saying? Healing, teaching, being a part of. He was always there with them. Like you rarely found. If he was in the synagogue, bro, he was in there tearing Pharisees and Sadducees up. That's why
Exactly.
he
That's
was in
why,
there. But yeah.
and that was a problem that I would see with being in the Christian market is that
Mm.
I would feel like at a certain point I was like, okay, look, I don't necessarily feel like I'm supposed to be like a praise and worship leader, like
Mm.
or a you know what I'm saying, like from
Yeah.
that standpoint. I feel like
I
I'm
know I
supposed to be
wasn't.
doing, yeah, you know, like I feel like people have different purposes. Like if you want to just do a song just to do nothing but to glorify God, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Wrong with
Like
that, right?
that's where you get like praise and worship people and praise and
That's right.
worship artists. You have to differentiate what your calling is and what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just be able to be confident in what you're doing, like and understand and give yourself grace. Like, man, all right, I know I'm not perfect. So what? You know, just do it
Yep.
anyway.
Yeah, for real. Man, so okay, so in your time in Florida, did you ever go to Flavor Fest?
Man, I was doing everything. I was doing all those things. The Flavor
Okay.
Fest.
Yep.
I was familiar with all of the different, a lot of the different things out there.
Yep.
I went to the Dove Award weekend in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Dope.
I met the Gospel Gangsters. Bunch,
Hey.
you know, I used to listen. It's funny because I used to when me and my sister were young. We used to listen to. Was it the Gospel Gangsters? Yeah, it was the Gospel Gangsters. It was the Gospel Gangsters. We used to listen to them like
Mm-hmm.
briefly like, when we were real young because our parents were like, "Okay, we're gonna get you." This. We were
You need
like,
some
"Okay."
Mahalia Jackson. You need some Mahalia. You need to get rid of that Christian devil music.
Right.
But that's how for real. That's how, and see, that's what I don't know if a lot of people outside of the Christian hip hop community even know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of times when you had the gospel community that hated on the Christian hip hop community.
It's a
You
lot
know
of
what I'm
drama,
saying? Which is
man.
so
It's
crazy.
a lot of
Man,
drama.
I find that so crazy.
It's
But
unnecessary.
here's what I'm
Unnecessary
gonna say.
drama.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say it right here. There's really no difference between how the Christian gospel music industry runs and how the quote unquote secular music industry runs.
So you just might as well just make music, man. Just make
difference.
music, have fun, be you,
Yep.
and let the chips fall where they fall. You know what I mean?
Yep. I will
I'd
always
rather
tell
do
people.
that.
No, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Oh, I was gonna say I'd rather do that and then find out later, like, man, okay, you shouldn't have done that, and not use my gift or just kind of hide it, not knowing which road to take or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you could be in that little, you could be in a state of confusion for years, not doing anything, just trying to decide, should I put my music out? Should I do this? Should I,
Oh man, I don't even think that has anything to do with just Christianity as a whole. I think that just has to do with music in its entirety.
Right.
I mean, because I find people today, even within regular music, right? We call it regular music. That's all regular
Right.
music, but in
Right.
music today, they just find it difficult to put out music, whether it's self-limiting beliefs, self-doubt, whether it's something that they're doing on their own, whether it may be their perspective on the industry, whatever it may be. You know,
Yeah.
I find whether it's in all areas of music that what you just said happens over and over
Oh,
again. Yeah, for
sure.
sure. Yep, over and over again. Man, so you end up leaving Atlanta? You left Atlanta.
Yeah. So I'm in Atlanta. I'm doing all this stuff. I went to the A3. Was it A3C?
Yep, me too.
And I was doing networking out there. That was actually where I met one of my good friends, Muggs a Million. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I do know Muggs a Million. See, that's the crazy part. I do. I know who he is. I've never met him.
That's where I met him at. I met him at A3C. We've been rocking ever since. We did some songs, we do some courses, different things like that. And it was just like I think in Atlanta, I kind of miss all of that. You know what I'm saying? I miss that kind of cultural vibe that I had out there. We would go to different beat battles.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I used to go to the different beat battles out in Atlanta, man. We would go. What's the different ones? I Standard.
The I Standard joints.
The
I Beat Daily. I Beat Daily. Yeah.
I can't.
You got my man Jeff. You got my man Jeff Blackwell.
Yeah.
Who does his? Yep.
I was going out to all of those, man. It was a dope time in Atlanta overall. But anyway, man, what happened was if I'm gonna be transparent, I ended up getting married and I ended up going through a divorce.
Hey. Ooh.
Yeah.
All in one.
And, which is not, it's and so I dealt with my own struggles on that type of thing. And so anyway, that led me to actually just take a step back. I was like, let me go back home to Oklahoma for a little bit. So I went there to kind of just get my head back right and everything like that. But now I'm in Texas, man. So it's kind of one of those.
And you got power, so I see you got.
Yeah, no, it was crazy out here, man. And it's so funny. I was almost mad. I almost started to get mad today. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, because it was literally, we didn't have powers at time. We didn't have. Actually, we were blessed to have power, but a lot of people didn't. But we didn't have water for sure for a while. I had to like go over to my sister's house for a little bit and just to take showers and stuff like that. It was crazy. It was crazy.
That is so crazy. I saw pictures of icicles hanging from ceiling fans in people's houses. Like, wait a minute. Now, I used to go to Texas often, right? So I used to go through Dallas and go through Houston. But I'm trying to remember the town I used to go to in. This was not working for one of the companies I used to work for, but it's in Texas, and I can't remember the name of it. Well, as soon as I get off the phone, off of this interview, I'm remembering. I'm like, oh man, don't you hate that when you forget something? But we would go there in the winter, and it would just be icy, like no snow, be cold and be icy. But this, I ain't never seen anything like this. That is so crazy.
I was like seriously praying. Like I'm talking about like those real prayers. Like God, please. Like, okay, look, please take this away. And then actually now it's like as if it never happened. Like if I looked outside, it was sunny today. Like I could have like not worn my coat.
Wow.
It's just interesting, man. I think honestly, this I don't even want to say God, but in general, we could say God. God is showing us we need to start preparing, man. Like we had the coronavirus hit last year. We having all these different race stuff happening, man, in the world. All this snowstorms and stuff. Like I really want to start, buying up land and create like some survival places, some end time survival places or something. No, seriously,
you're gonna be one of the doomsday preppers.
I need to start doomsday prepping, man. It's getting crazy out here.
Doomsday prepper. You're gonna have like a bunker in the ground with like it can be 100 acres in the ground with food for 100 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's hey, you know what they say though? It's like in the last days, you know what I'm saying? That there
Man,
would be signs, wars and rumors of wars, diverse earthquakes in various places.
it's real.
Like I said, this ain't Bible. We're
Right,
not talking about the book of Revelation today. We're talking about my man Eva J.
right,
But
right.
look. So I do want to ask. So we kind of diverge a little bit, which is cool. I do want to talk about the sync licensing stuff,
Okay.
right? So I know that you went through the whole music production process. You had a couple things going on and happening there, and then you kind of transitioned into sync licensing and kind of figuring
Right.
out how that whole thing worked, man. So kind of talk about that and just some of your experience, and I'll build off of that. And I'm gonna ask you some more
Okay.
stuff about it though.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, I was doing like Christian music and all that type of stuff, and then I ended up like deciding to say, you know what, let me just try to do some music for like TV or some type of commercial or ads. I actually was trying to do the approach of going to different like businesses at first, like in like what do you call like small businesses, and I would do like a little jingle or like little stuff like that. And I was like, no, this is not quite what I want. So I started going on Twitter and I met a guy named Joseph Parker. And Joseph Parker, I think I just reached out to him because he had something in his bio that said something about, licensing music and stuff like that. So I reached out to him and he was like, hey, look, I know this guy. I don't place the music, but I know this guy that can do it. Why don't you let me talk to him and then see what, if he wants to work with you. And so he talked to him and he got back with me. He was like, hey, look, he was interested in seeing like what your music sounds like. So I sent him some of my music. And then, from there we started working, send me a contract. We, went through that whole process. And then from there, I would just send him like, he would send me like a brief, what was called like a brief. And it would just say,
Yeah.
all right, I need, let's say, they always do some type of weird variation of hip hop. So it might be like a cinematic hip hop track, or I need a pop hip hop. They'll just tell you based on whatever they're doing, what they
Right.
need. His name was Dennis Cornell, just so everybody knows. But I started working with him, man. He was a dope dude.
And
But
shout out
he
to
actually
Dennis.
kind of, yeah, man. Dennis kind of really gave me my first start. Honestly, I started working with him, and honestly, I was like, man, there was nothing at first seemed like it was happening. I was thinking it was gonna get like move a whole lot quicker, and so when I was first started working with him, I was like, man, I kind of slowed up on giving him like submitting. That was a mistake. That's what something I shouldn't have done. But I slowed up on it, and then all of a sudden I looked into my ASCAP account. And I was like, hold up, I got a couple of placements. I need to
Hey.
let me reach back out to Dennis and see what's up. So
Like, hello, Dennis.
yeah, so my bad about not bad. But I started doing that with started submitting with Dennis some more, and I would just get started getting a little couple placements. And it's like I said, I'll just keep on going through the process of trying to find different people to work with. I would whether it be producers or publishers, artists even. I've submitted music before with Muggs a Million. I've submitted music for different other producers. I eventually somehow came across Clint music. I don't
Hey.
know. Yeah,
It's my guy.
I don't know how I even came across him. I was probably just on Instagram and I saw his page, and I was like, wow, this dude is getting like a lot of. I just noticed he's getting a lot of TV placements. What's going on with that?
Every day.
Every day, man. He's like the godfather of placements.
Right.
So I just was like, let me reach out to him. I think I initially reached out to him on like some type of a consultation type of basis. I was like, let me do a consultation with you, and I think that was how we initially started building from that. Actually, then then he had a contest that he was doing, a music licensing contest. I did that, and anyway, one thing led to another. We started working together, man. He just allowed me to start submitting to his opportunities or things like that. So it's been a blessing, man. I'm still skipping. My bad. it's been a blessing. So it's when I been able to get my music on like Real Housewives, Love and
Mm-hmm.
Hip Hop, bunch of different shows, man. It's I would say I'm still just getting started, to compare to certain
Hey.
people's resumes, but I think it's a blessing, man, when I can just actually have some legitimate credits that people
Mm-hmm.
can look up or whatever, to my name. So that's actually what I'm working on right now. Is I really want to focus on getting like music placements with artists, continuing to build
Mm-hmm.
my catalog with music licensing. I want to be able to get like gold and platinum plaques and stuff like, stuff like where I look back like when I'm 80 or something like that. Like, man,
Mm-hmm.
I actually made history. I did this and did, built these
Mm.
relationships and things of that nature. So that's really what my focus has been right now, is just really trying to just continue to submit to these music licensing opportunities, build more relationships
Right.
with that, and starting to do more relationships with artists too. I want to, get with some artists that, get a plaque on
Mm-hmm.
the wall, man, or something.
Hey. Hey, you know, and I kind of was going to talk about that as you were talking about, you know, now that you were doing TV, and then you said, well, I want to work with some artists too, and that made me think about the many different avenues that there is to income within the music industry, which I don't think a lot of people kind of take hold of because our minds are so focused on, especially, and I don't know if it's just in the, I can't even call it urban. I don't even know what I heard they were trying to take urban out of it, but
Oh
just
no.
in the hip hop and R&B genres of music that we're so focused on. I need to work with Trey Songz. I need to work with Jay
There's
Z.
other
I need
lanes,
I need to
man.
work with Kanye West. Man, if I can just
Right.
get a Kanye West placement, man, I'm gonna be in there. Like, give me the Kanye West. And it's like, while you're trying to chase Kanye West, who you probably would maybe never ever get a placement with, right? Because they run in camps, and those camps
You gotta
kind
get
of
in
do
those
stuff.
camps
You got to get in that camp, and
somehow.
so some somehow, right? And
Right.
so there's many avenues, and music placement in TV and film and commercials is a huge market that people can find to generate income for themselves. And I think a lot of times we don't try to do that because we're so focused on trying to get to the Jay-Z, the Kanye West, the Beyoncé's, the J. Cole's, the Kendrick
True.
Lamar's, that we miss opportunities that are right in front of us. That same music that they're using to try to reach that, they could be placing them in Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives, Black Ink. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I didn't
Right.
name all the ones that you got placements in,
Yeah.
but
It's all good.
but
Yeah.
I think we miss that, and I think because we're so narrow focused at times that we miss all the other opportunities that live outside of just producing for
I
an artist.
I would for sure say that, man, because like I would say like that is like when people, I would say the general public actually, when you put people, if I was like, yo, I'm a producer. If I tell someone I'm
Hmm.
a producer, that's what they think I'm doing, is sitting in the
Right,
studio with Drake, you know,
right.
all right, how that sound, man,
How that sound,
but
Drake? All
you,
right, cool.
yeah,
Yep,
you can still be a music producer and sell your beats online. You can still be a music producer
hmm
and get it in TV and film.
that's
You can
right.
still be a music producer and teach courses or tutorials. You can still be there's a lot of different things you could do as a music producer. You could be a music producer and just be a co-producer your whole career.
Hmm.
Just do nothing but make sound and loops and stuff like that for people.
Right,
So
right. And I think
there's nothing wrong with either. Anything.
there's nothing wrong with either of them, and they all lead to the end goal. Whatever your end goal is, if it's to take care of your family, however you define success,
Yeah.
use whatever that medium is in order to create that success for you.
You
Not
know the funny
everybody's
thing?
not everybody can be a boy wonder, and that's just not gonna
No.
happen.
Now I was thinking honestly, would you say that? Like honestly, I've been thinking about that a lot. It's like when something is working for you, you know what I'm saying? Like you might as well just
Hmm.
keep on doing it. You know what I mean? And that's how I've really been looking at lately with the like music licensing and different things like that. I was like, man, maybe I should just really just focus on just trying to get more placements. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like
sure.
that
You
would be able
eating
to be
good?
the best way.
Look, you eating good?
I mean, I would say it like this, man. When it comes to music licensing, unless you like a big boss like that,
Hmm.
you have hundreds in placements. you're gonna have to do multiple different things. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna just be one of those situations where, okay, I'm just eating good off of music license. Like I have multiple different things that I'm doing to bring in like revenue from teaching courses on how to make beats to I have a beat store up. I'm kind of going through a transition with that, but I have a beat store up. I have the music licensing, but music licensing is something, like I said, it's something for me. I want to, over a long-term basis, build up a huge catalog, hundreds of placements in TV and film. I feel like in that case, music licensing will be very profitable. But
right. So you talk about you had a beat store. Do you think the online beat sales market is oversaturated?
I don't think anything's oversaturated. I think it's just what is your path. I mean, I think that's what I've been trying to figure out sometimes too. Is like, well, you have all these different things you could do. I'm the type of person I was like, look, why don't you just try it? I've tried a lot of different things within music, and I think it's all about your path. Some people are real great at selling beats online, and some people are not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't say that I've been just the OG of selling beats online, but I've sure been trying, man. Like for the last 6 months, I was posting my beats on YouTube. I've been trying to do certain things like that, and it hasn't necessarily been just like avalanche of success doing that. So I've been kind of rethinking certain things, and I was like, let me just really focus on placements, because like the same work that you're gonna have to do to get like that $30 or $100, $200-$300, whatever sale lease, is probably the same amount of work it's going to take to, reach out to, whoever you need to do. So
that's right.
I'm just kind of taking different approaches to the situation. I mean, I'm doing this full time, but I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to figure everything out and to get to a higher level of this. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But before,
no, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but were you trying to have like a finance conversation about the music licensing, or what were you trying to get into? You want to get into the details? Or?
No. I mean, honestly, hey, I know when people watch, they kind of tune it in, like, okay, what's some of them nuggets about sync licensing that we can get into. But I was going to comment on what you had just said, but we can get into
whatever you want.
I think it goes back to what you said. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you are putting in the time and energy and effort to create music for TV and film, and it's the same amount of effort you're going to take to create one for your beat store, which one for you is going to give you the biggest return on investment? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one is going to give you that return on investment that you truly want? Because if you're selling beats online, I may or may not know who's purchasing that beat. I may not, me trying to get beats to an artist may not necessarily work. I don't have an established relationship with them, but I got an established relationship with Clint.
Yeah.
And with Dennis.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have relationships with them. So they already know my track record for, producing music and coming through. Let me I'm not saying that you have to stay on that path. That's not what I'm saying.
I agree with you. I agree with you, man.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that man, forget it. Like most people I gotta be careful with what I'm gonna say, man.
No, go ahead.
I can't see myself, if I'm already successful in one area, trying to break into another area where there may be limited success. Because how many people do you know that are selling beats online for $20, $30? On some of these beat selling platforms, when I can have an opportunity to actually get a actual placement. Because Jimmy Joe may buy that same beat, he may buy that beat and use it on his album, but his album is an indie album, it never really goes anywhere, no streaming, no anything, but I can get this song in Real Housewives or Love and Hip Hop or Black Ink or wherever, and it starts generating revenue, and I get producer credits for that. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
It makes more. It makes more sense. Like, honestly, I really have been sitting back and like, man, you know what? Let me relook at my vision on this. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to at least try things. That's why I will tell people,
That's right.
man,
It is
you
good.
never know what you're gonna be good at or what's gonna work for you until you actually try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but music licensing for me, like some of the things I really want to do in that, I want to get some TV commercials next. Like, I want to do like some Nike commercials, like different car
I
company
heard that's
commercials, like
bread.
BMW. Oh yeah,
I
now,
heard that's
I heard this,
bread.
man. Listen, honestly, I've heard music licensing. I've probably been sleeping myself. I've heard the music licensing is where it's at. I've heard people you
Me
can make
too.
$100,000, a six-figure check off of one thing,
One
just
thing, like,
in music licensing. So like,
you get the, look, you get a song with Chevy. Oh, bro.
oh
Like,
yeah, hmm
it's crazy.
so that's
Now,
for me. That's what's next for me. I want to do like some major movies, big time TV commercials and stuff like that. Maybe elevate from doing like sync to like having it like actually be like maybe the theme song for an actual TV show or something like that. Certain things like that. I want to elevate it, get into some games and different things like that. So trust me, just because I mentioned an artist don't mean that I'm neglecting the TV. I'm definitely on it. I'm definitely seeing like, hold up, this might be a good lane for me to stick to.
Right.
When it comes to
because working with artists and working with regional artists and then some well-known artists, even making your way to well-known artists, that gets you the notoriety. That's what people are looking for. That gets you that notoriety. So when people say, "Oh, you produce," and then you say, "Yeah, I produce for Black Ink Crew," and they're like, "No. Do you produce like for Drake and for J. Cole and Kendrick?" That's what people are thinking about.
They want to hear that.
They want to hear that, right? They don't want to hear the the 5-second, 10-second snippet on the television show. They're looking like, are you producing records? And I think, and I that's for the general population of people. But I think for us as music producers, however we define success, that's what we utilize. We utilize this medium of music to achieve that success. I'm not saying nothing wrong with chasing placements and with artists. And
no, for sure.
I did that for a while. Now I personally am adjusting my focus. You're saying I want to work with artists. I'm trying to get into what you're doing. So, I
mean, I think it should be a combination, man. I think it should be a combination. So I just look at as far as having a career in this. What would I like to look back at the end of all of this? Say 10 years from now, 20 years from now, would I want to have sold 1,000 beats on or 10,000 beats on BeatStars, which would be amazing, or would I want to have 10,000 music licensing placements? You feel me? Or what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. That's those are the things we gotta look at. Especially I'm older, man.
That's me too.
I was doing a Christian rap and stuff like that. That was like a while back ago, man. It's different things like that. So it's just like I'm in a whole different place. I can't do some of the stuff I was doing when I was younger.
Yeah, I feel you.
If that makes sense, man. Even with music, like I shut stuff down early with music stuff. Like, man, I listen. No, that's not the type of stuff that we're going to be doing. You have to pay. You have to do this. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I find as you get older and you get more seasoned within this music thing, you start to develop parameters on how you conduct business. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I attribute that to growth as a music producer and ensuring that, because in the beginning, nobody had their ducks in a row. You know what I'm saying? Nobody had split sheets and nobody was signed up with PROs and Harry Fox and, nobody knew all these different things. We had to go and learn. And so through learning, we grow. And now we know, if we're making this beat, guess what? We're doing split sheets, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, hands down. It's not, we'll work it out later. No. We're going to take care of everything right now to ensure that when we go forward, there is no.
This is a business, man.
Issues.
Like we're in this. We're not in this as a hot. Like, if I want to do this as a hobby, then okay, let's just hang out and just play around.
Right.
You want to do this as a business, then we have to be conscious
do business
of
stuff.
That. Yeah,
that's right.
It's just I think that's interesting in general when it comes to the conversation of doing music. Most people don't look at music as a business. Even the general public, they're just like, oh, we'll just kind of. It's like when you go to Target or you go to, wherever you go, you don't try the certain things that you try with
Right.
music people. Hey man, can I just give me all of these? And I'm gonna go and become successful, and then like
Yes.
I'll tell them that I got them for you, and then
Right.
no, you
Oh
buy
man,
them, and then
I'm gonna pay you an exposure.
yeah, no, we're not paying an exposure because
Nope.
technically you're gonna get exposure regardless if it does the right thing.
That's
We're
right.
both gonna get exposure. Let's just do business. Let's
Let's just do
stop with this
business.
foolishness.
That's right. And I think I in my I'm trying to think what series did I do it in. It's either in my I think it was my branding series that I put out a while back. I had a conversation with Nelly when I used to live in St. Louis, and he told me, he was like, this whole thing, it really is 80% business, 20% talent. He said, if you get the business side down and you get everything that you're supposed, all your ducks in a row, the talent and the business together, it's going to be dangerous. He said, but if you got talent and you ain't got no business sense, you're going to get taken advantage of, and you're not going to go too far. He said they're going to eat you up. So you have to get your business. And I remember this is so I used to go to EI in St. Louis, which was that's why I asked about the whole Full Sail thing. So when Nelly opened up EI back in St. Louis, I was like one of the very first students to go. Like literally, me and my homie Keith, we were the first. I think we were like the first two students ever to enroll into EI. And Nelly came and he spoke to us about just the whole music side of stuff, the whole business side of stuff. He's like, y'all got to get that straight. You get that straight, 80% business, 20% talent.
Yeah.
I was like, and a lot of times I find that people aren't about their business, which is why we hear stories today about people being taken advantage of, or they're in 360 deals. Now, I'm not saying all 360 deals are bad. I would never sign, no. But no. But if you want to be successful, and you can get this in books, whether it's Donald Passman's book or Ari's book, or listening to podcasts or YouTube videos like from people like Adam Ivy, etc. They're going to tell you the music business is what you need to focus on. If you get that together, coupled with your talent,
take off.
You're going to take off. Man, I was surprised. When was it, last week, where Spotify and all of the streaming platforms, or DSPs, digital service provider, digital streaming platforms, where they paid $442 million to, I forgot the name of the company, MLC or some company, of all the unpaid royalties that people didn't collect. I was like, oh no, 442 million? That's so crazy.
That's a lot of millions.
That's a lot of millions. And it comes from people not being cognizant of the many different areas where they make money. And I was talking to Nick, the manager, last week, and this is where we had that conversation. And if you don't know Nick, the manager, man, I would say, like, look that dude up. He's packing tons of gems. And we had that conversation. And he says, really, who has the time to go sign up with the PROs and, the database, the music databases and Harry Fox and all these other things? He's like, I'm an artist. I don't have time to, or not just I don't have time, I may not even want to do all of that. I may just want to make music. He said, but if you want them royalties, you need to have somebody who kind of knows how to do that so you can make sure you get paid. The business is super important, man. Super important.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Man, yep. So for you, man, I know we've been talking for a while. We had that little hiccup in the beginning, almost at the 30-minute mark. But man, for you, what have been some of your major challenges, and what did you learn from some of those?
Major challenges, man. I don't know, man. I would say honestly, I have a lot of major challenges when it comes to working with artists. I would say is it's like using wisdom, man, when it comes to working with artists, for sure. Like you have to, before you interact with artists, like I've had challenges where I'll be building with a group, and like right before we're about to pull the trigger, the people just fall out. They don't all of a sudden want to do it anymore, or somebody, it's been hindrances before, just trying to release a project, or even what do you say, major challenges. I would even say it's people not paying you, what I'm saying? Just not going into the situation like, hey, up front, I'm a producer. This is how much I charge. Yes, I want these royalties, this publishing, up front, go ahead and have that. I used to always think that was an uncomfortable conversation to have, and so I would try to avoid hoping that it was going to happen naturally,
Right.
and what happens is sometimes it just never happens, and that the conversation doesn't happen, or is a vague conversation, and you end up not getting hardly anything. So when you talk about challenges, those are challenges. You got to go into a situation knowing what you want, knowing what your value is, and like, no, I'm not gonna. Like nowadays, like seriously, I won't. Like if an artist comes to me the wrong way, I'm just like, I'm respectfully decline. You feel me? Like straight,
I feel you.
I'm just gonna
Yes,
respectfully decline working with you because you're not coming at me the right way. So
No, I
yeah,
feel you.
I would say those are the challenges. Just maybe this being ill-advised at the time, is not having the information that I needed to succeed, so to speak.
It's funny you say that you didn't in the beginning want to have those conversations. Those conversations were uncomfortable. And I found that even in my own career and different producers that I've spoken with, a lot of times why they don't want to have that conversation is they feel that if they have it, then that producer, or not the producer, but the artist is going to be like, oh, well, I can just go over here and work with somebody else. And you kind of don't want to lose that business. But I don't know why that is in this particular genre.
That's the business that you actually want to lose.
That's the one you want to lose. Yes,
you want to lose
right.
the person. If you bring up some music money, or hey, how are we going to work out compensation on this? Exposure. All right.
Well, I will say this: it depends. For me personally, it depends. It depends on who I'm working with, my relationship with that person. What are there any type of tangible benefits or intangible benefits that may come from me working with this particular individual, right? So I have to kind of ascertain the situation, determine exactly what's really in it for me and for the other person. But if it's somebody I don't know, and that's what I get, it's like, I'm good.
Usually the people who are trying to do this thing for the exposure are not people who are in a position to actually help let you benefit from that exposure. Like for instance, I mean, if Drake came to me and said, hey, yo, Joe or Eva J, let me get some beats.
Sure.
I'm not going to pay you anything up front. I'm just going to give you a publishing on the back end, and it will be exposure.
Please.
Immediately. Now, of course, but at the same time, no, I'm gonna Drake. I still want you to go ahead and pay me for the beats up front, though, Drake. But I'm just saying, like in that particular scenario, for someone who doesn't have a Drake placement yet,
right,
that would be a kind of a no-brainer to go ahead and just take that, because Drake is gonna do what he's gonna do on that. You're gonna benefit from that.
Even if it's Drake's worst song on that album, and you produced it.
If I put Drake in my bio. I mean, what can you say?
What can you say?
You're gonna.
I produced for Drake. Nobody's looking at, well, what song did you do? And was that song really good? And did it? No, because they're like, okay, you produced for Drake. People are going to start coming at you going, hey, I heard what you did for Drake. Can you come do the same thing for me? I think every situation is different. You have to read every situation. I know if personally Drake came to me and was like, I'll give you some publishing. Cool. Here you go. Next time Drake comes to me, though, it's like, hey, Drake, like we got this relationship now. Can you pay for this beat up front? And
I'll be honest with you though. Honestly, now though, I mean, honestly, I'm trying to listen. No, we're gonna just do business the right way, or not at all. Honestly, that's how I would look at it. Period. Even with Drake.
Yeah, and Drake has to respect that. Or whoever the artist is, they have to respect that. And then they have to determine for themselves if they want to do business with you based upon what your business requirements are. And I think that's a lot of things, man, is that people just aren't upfront with what they want to do. They kind of skirt around a lot of different things, and that's what get them into trouble.
Yeah.
And if they were just upfront.
Lack of knowledge.
Man. if they were just upfront and said, this is how what I want based upon this transaction, this situation, you know,
Yeah.
they have to determine what that is for them. So, yeah, I just know for me, Drake, if Drake came today,
Oh, for
it
sure.
was like,
yeah,
it was like,
I'm flexible. I'm flexible.
I'm flexible. I'll give you the beat. But next beat, matter of fact, I give you 2 beats. But the next beat, you had to pay.
You know,
Even
honestly,
if it's
I think
Drake, even if it's $500, it's gonna be $500.
no. Honestly, I think Drake or some artists like that, the artists on those levels, I don't think they're on that type of stuff of not wanting to pay
I
people.
don't either.
I think they want to
so
get
crazy.
that out the way.
It's so crazy that I will honestly tell you that's correct. It's people who are, and that's so sad to say, no longer are we getting, our producer getting paid 20, 30, 40, $100,000 for a beat. If there is, let me know. I need to find out what that producer is, getting $20,000, $30,000 for a beat. I don't think the producers who are at those levels are worried about paying someone. I just think it's at certain levels where there is a mindset that has infiltrated at that level to say, well, I can get this beat from somebody on BeatStars or Airbit or whoever for $20. Why do I have to pay you $1,000 for it? And what's so crazy, here's the craziest thing, and I got to talk to somebody about this, because they can hear your beat and you send them the beat, and then they can take that same beat and have somebody remake it.
So we're in a dirty time, man. He's got to put yourself out there. I think, I don't know, like I say, like with the YouTube, putting my beats on YouTube, I'm just now kind of thinking like, man, maybe I should scale back from that, because if I want to really be a industry producer, even with music licensing, honestly, do you think, like, say a music supervisor, they see your beats on YouTube and you're saying free beats, or here,
they
license this beat for $12 and you get all these hundreds of other beats, something like that. Do you think that they're going to actually now turn around and give you a check for $15,000 to produce this Nike commercial or this whatever?
That's right.
Probably not. So like I've kind of been on the approach like, man, maybe I should be more exclusive with this and building a brand that would demand. That's really, I think that's important. That's what I'm really focused on right now.
I think that's important. Yeah, I think that's man. I wish we can get into the whole conversation about building brands, and I think that's super critical. That a lot of times people aren't aware of the brand is important. How you're presenting yourself is important. What you do as far as your presentation, it matters. Because once people start taking notice of you, then, and especially if they take notice of you and you want to go to a higher level, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then you have to figure out what your branding strategy looks like and how that is going to play itself out in everything that you do, from the way that you present your music, from your style, from your website, your communication, I mean, everything. Because now you're not just talking to Jimmy Joe artists, you're talking to, Hans Beckman, who is the major composer on this new movie that wants you to be part of what you're doing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a different, and I think that's what people don't understand. There's a different level to certain things. And I'm not trying to say if you play the game the right way, but if you present yourself as that brand, people are going to take notice and they're going to want to do a lot of business with you. A lot of business. Yep.
I think that's where I'm at right now, man. Is just I'm ready to go to another level with this music industry stuff, man. Like,
yes, sir.
I'm excited for it, man. Excited what's going on already, but it's like you said, there's levels to this.
There's levels to it. That's right.
Levels. So,
man, so what would you tell somebody trying to get into this whole music world today? What advice would you give them?
First advice is to try to figure out exactly what you feel like you want to do or called to do. What is your purpose within this? Because I think once you figure that out, then you don't have to waste time trying everything else like I kind of what I did, or what most people do. They try a bunch of different things. Like if you already know what you want to do, then that's going to be the first step. The second step I would say is to try to think of creative ways to get in where not everybody is taking that approach to get in. Like um, everybody's trying to be the main plug, right? Try not to be the plug. Don't worry about being the plug and just get plugged in with somebody who already has the connections and stuff like that, and just keep on building with them. So that would be probably my advice, man. Just lock in with somebody. You don't have to be the main person. But just plug in with somebody that can help you get in the door,
Yeah, and I think so many people are so, as you said, consider, so, taken with, I just want to be the plug, or they put me in the right room with the right person and I can take off. And there's a lot of work that kind of goes into this.
It takes
whole
time,
thing.
man. It takes
time. It takes time.
It's patience. Like even just the relationships that I built, that wasn't like, okay, I started talking to Clint, and then 1 week later, I got this placement right here, or I did this. It was over time, man. So months,
it's over time.
Years, yeah.
Over time, I know Clint. Look. I know Clint. I haven't gotten any placement yet.
Uh-oh. Nah,
but the reality is, look, so here's the reality, and I'll say this for everybody: one person's journey is not the same. My journey is not your journey. You know what I'm saying? So my entryway into this whole music world started off as producing, but I figured I have skills that are at a certain level than just being a producer. Like I've been in corporate America for 20 plus years. I have a background in leadership and organizational development. I have a background in marketing and strategy and human resources and training and all these other things. And I figured, I'm gonna figure out a way how to use those to get me into this. And then people say, I didn't know you produce. Oh yeah. Come check out these beats.
Right.
Yep. Sure. Everybody's journey is different.
That's very important to point on too, man, because like I said, it's hard because, like, say as a producer or anything you're trying to do, there's going to be other examples of what you could be doing. You know what I mean? And so
that's right.
It can prevent you from going to where you need to go, just looking at what everybody else is doing. Just focus on what your path is. Go there. And I also wanted to point on the fact that you said, like, hey, using some of your other talents. We look at these people like Jay-Z. He doesn't just rap, you know what I'm saying? If he just rapped, he wouldn't be where he is today.
He wouldn't have got that partnership he just got.
You see what I'm saying? If he only used his skills as a rapper,
that's right.
That's what I'm getting at. Same with Sean John or Puffy. If he only was doing nothing but producing or being an artist, he wouldn't be this global brand. He used his business, like you're talking about, your business skills. Something that I'm thinking about too. Like, man, I should use some of my other skills and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Well. Yes, sir. If you got skills in other areas, you got to figure out how to take those skills and make them transferable to what you do in music. So, like an example, I think you mentioned it, but I know as an example, Clint, he does courses. DDS does courses. Like I do certain types of things through my videos as far as trainings and stuff like that. If you have a skill set that is transferable, and you can figure out how to use that skill set on this side, man,
I would say too, that's about humility too. It's like, because everybody thinks, I have to do this. What if you felt like that, and then this whole other thing that could have blossomed for you as well on the side while you're going towards that?
That's right. I mean, everybody thought I should be a manager.
Yeah.
Like an artist manager. I tried it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I realized it wasn't for me.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's the whole thing. People can't be afraid to get out there and experiment. Because you're not gonna know what's like for instance, I've experimented with the gospel industry, like for sure. Like I'll still work with a gospel artist.
Yeah, me too.
Am I doing this like if that's all I'm doing? Like I'm exclusively all I can do is gospel music? No, I can also do this and do that. So.
Yeah, man, brother, it's been It's been a pleasure, man. Just getting it. Like, it's nothing like chopping it up face to face
For
versus,
sure.
text or
Seeing,
Instagram DM. Yeah,
yeah,
like seeing each other and just really chopping it up, man.
and to
I
see
just
who the
greatly
person really
appreciate
is.
you.
Yeah.
Yep. I greatly appreciate you, your insight and the things that you're working on. Man, so tell people where they can find you.
Man, you can find me on Instagram, Instagram.com/Eva J, Eva J music. You can actually go to my site too, but it's kind of under construction. But you can go to my BeatStars page. I'll still have that up. Eva J Music BeatStars or EvaJMusic.com. Everything. Just search Eva J Music. You search Eva J Music on Spotify.
J Music.
I got some stuff on there. You can search Eva J Music on different platforms. Man, I got you know Eva J Music. How you gonna find me?
Man, that's what's up. Man. Yes. Eva J
Oh,
Music, y'all.
let me also give my email
Yes.
too, just in case someone wants to
Sure.
reach out to me. I have two emails I'm gonna give. One is evajmusic@gmail.com, and one is info@evajmusic.com. So info@evajmusic.com. If you're seriously trying to do something, that's the best one to go to. If you
Yeah.
just want some like basic questions or something like that, just evajmusic@gmail.
Yeah, look, I tell people the same thing. I like, if you really, really want to do some stuff, get at me at info.wecreatemusic.tv. Outside of
Right.
that, just email me at wecreatemusic.tv1@gmail. Like, go to my Gmail. But this one
Right.
is strictly business. This is the
Right, yeah,
business platform.
you're all right.
Yes, sir. Man, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Eva J, my brother, greatly appreciate it. We got to do this again. It's just been great. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Nah, it's all
Sorry
good.
that I'm like, why is this Chrome open on my YouTube? It was so crazy, but
Happens, man.
yeah, it does. But man, I greatly appreciate you being here, sharing your knowledge, your gems, and just your experience and the things that you've been going through from a musical perspective, and looking forward to what you do, because I know one of your goals that I don't know if you talked about it, but was to get 100 placements.
I didn't hear you.
I said I think one of your goals was to get I read in your bio was to get 100 placements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
I want to get 100 TV and film placements, or I have some pretty big goals. I'm just like, man, if I'm gonna do a goal, I might as well go ahead and
do it big.
blow it up. You know what I'm saying?
That's
100.
right.
I want to get 100 gold and platinum plats. I want to get 50 #1 records. I mean, why not? Let me just try. Let me try. I want to get.
That's right.
What I say? I want to get like I think 4,000. I want to get 4,000 TV and film placements in the next 10 years. I mean, look, if you're gonna do it, look, I want to look back and see, hey, I've had a real good, successful career. If I look back in 10 years and I have 4,000 placements in TV and film, I will feel like I did what I did what I was supposed to do.
And that's how you define what your success is to you. And I can tell you now, a lot of people have not even started that part of their journey. They haven't even decided what are my ultimate goals that I want to achieve, and what are the things I can start doing to work toward those goals.
Yep.
Not at all. Nope. But man, once again, it's been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man, Eva J. I'm sure we will see him again. Hopefully, as we continue to build our relationship, maybe we can make some TV placements together. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see what's up. Let's see what we can do.
That's right. So, man, hang around for just one moment as we really close it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the interview. I know I did. Man, Eva J's an amazing, dope guy. Make sure you definitely check him out on his social media platform. Get at him on his webpage. Check out the things that he's doing. But as always, thank you very much for tuning in to We Create Music TV. Thank you for sticking with us even through our technical difficulties. And just thank you for checking us out every Monday and every Thursday at 7 p.m. where you can check out all of our live interviews. Check out our master classes that we have. We did one on branding in the music industry. We did one on networking in the music industry. And we're getting ready to prepare for our new 7 Habits of Highly Effective Music Producers one as well. Check us out on Instagram. We don't use Twitter that much, but Instagram is where, that's where we are. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button. But once again, thank you very much for tuning in. Y'all have a great evening, or whenever it is that you're going to be watching this. Peace.